Welcome to Headstones and Microphones, where we use AI to step into the past through a researched first-person simulation of history's most interesting people. I am your host, Calvin. While we've added some creative storytelling, our goal is to inspire your own study of these fascinating lives. Now, let's meet our guest. I am absolutely honoured today to be sitting across from a true legend of soul. For those who may somehow not know who you are, who are you?
I'm Otis Redding. Some folks called me the King of Soul, but I just like to think of myself as a man who sang from the heart and tried to make people feel something deep down in their spirits.
You certainly did that. Let's start at the roots. When and where were you born?
I was born on September 9, 1941 in a little town called Dawson, Georgia.
What was your given name at birth?
My parents named me Otis Ray Redding Jr.
What was your hometown like growing up?
Dawson was small, but when I was about 2, we moved to Macon, Georgia. Macon was where I really grew up. We lived in a government housing project called Bellevue. It was a tight-knit place full of music and family, but we didn't have much in the way of money.
What was your family life like?
My father, Otis Sr., worked at Robins Air Force Base and was also a sharecropper and a minister. My mother, Fanny, took care of us. I was one of 6 children, so it was a busy, loud, and very spiritual household. We sang a lot of gospel.
What kind of kid were you?
I was a hard worker, Calvin. I had to be. But I was always focused on music. I played the drums, the piano, the guitar, anything I could get my hands on. I was a bit of a dreamer, always looking for a way to help my family.
What did you dream of becoming as a child?
I wanted to be a singer like my hero, Little Richard. He was from Macon too, you know. Seeing someone from my own backyard make it big gave me all the hope I needed.
What were some of your favorite activities in school?
I was in the school band, of course, but honestly, I left school early, around the 10th grade, to help support my family because my father had gotten sick.
What was your first job?
I did a little bit of everything. I worked at a gas station, I dug wells, and I even played in a band called Pat T. Cake and the Mighty Panthers. I was just trying to bring home a paycheck.
Was there a moment where you realized you were different from everyone else?
It was probably during those talent shows at the Douglas Theater in Macon. I won the $5 prize 15 weeks in a row. They eventually had to ask me to stop entering so someone else could win. That's when I thought, hey, maybe I've got something special here.
What's a decision that changed everything for you, but felt small at the time?
Offering to drive my friend Johnny Jenkins to a recording session at Stax Records in Memphis. I was just the driver and the equipment loader that day.
Was that your biggest break?
It sure was. At the end of Johnny's session, there were 40 minutes left. I asked if I could sing a song. I sang These Arms of Mine, and the room just went quiet. Jim Stewart from Stax signed me right then and there.
What were your biggest struggles before success?
Just a daily grind of poverty and trying to be heard as a black man in the South. You had to have a thick skin and a lot of faith.
Did you ever consider quitting?
Never. Music was the only way I knew how to speak to the world. Quitting music would have been like quitting life.
Were there any specific daily habits or routines that you feel are essential to your success?
I was always writing. I keep a notepad with me and write down lines or feelings whenever they hit. I also believed in being a leader. I like to produce and arrange my own sessions because I knew exactly how I wanted that Otis sound to feel.
What job would you have had if fame never happened?
I probably would have been a full-time farmer or worked in the Air Force Base like my father. I loved being outdoors and working with my hands.
How did relationships change after success?
You learn who your true friends are, but I stayed close to my wife, Zelma. She was my rock. Success allowed me to buy Big O Ranch, a 300-acre place in Georgia where my family could be safe and happy. That was the best part.
Did fame bring happiness?
It brought the ability to provide, which made me very happy. And hearing a crowd roar when you hit a high note, there's no feeling like it.
What was the downside of becoming famous?
Being away from my wife and kids. The road is a lonely place even when you're surrounded by people.
What was your darkest moment?
Having to have surgery on my throat in 1967, I was terrified I'd lose my voice. I had to be silent for weeks, just resting and hoping I'd still be able to roar.
Tell me about a time when everything went wrong and how did you handle it?
During the Monterey Pop Festival, it was raining, the equipment was acting up, and I was performing for a crowd that didn't really know soul music. It was a flower power rock crowd. I just decided to give them everything I had, calling them the Love Crowd, and it turned into one of the greatest nights of my life.
Who had the biggest influence on your life?
My father for my faith, Little Richard for my style, and Sam Cooke for his soul and his business mind.
What were you working on in your career right before the end?
I had just recorded Sittin' on the Dock of the Bay. I was moving in a new direction, a bit more folk soul, more introspective. I felt like I was finally finding my true voice.
When and where did you pass away?
It was December 10th, 1967. My plane went down in Lake Monona near Madison, Wisconsin. I was 26.
What's a random fact about you most people have never heard?
I actually co-wrote Respect. Most people think of it as Aretha Franklin's song, and she did a wonderful job with it, but I wrote it and recorded it first as a man asking for a little respect when he comes home from work.
What was your most unique habit?
I used to say gotta in my songs. It wasn't planned, it was just how the energy moved through me. It became my trademark.
What was your favorite food?
Good old Georgia soul food. Give me some fried chicken, collard greens, and cornbread, and I'm a happy man.
Did you have any known rivalries?
Not really rivalries, but a healthy competition. We all wanted to have the biggest hit on the charts at Stax, but we were like a family.
What's your funniest behind-the-scenes moment?
Probably teaching the Barcades how to move on stage. Those boys were young and full of energy, but I had to show them how to keep that rhythm steady.
What was the most outlandish purchase you made?
My ranch. People didn't think a singer should be buying 300 acres of farmland, but I love that blue tractor of mine more than any fancy car.
What advice would you give people chasing success?
Be true to yourself. Don't try to sing like anyone else. If you feel it, the audience will feel it, and work harder than everyone else in the room.
Otis, this has been incredible. Do you have any closing remarks about the interview or the stories you shared that you would like to share with the listeners before signing off?
Just that I'm so thankful my music is still playing. It warms my heart to know people are still sitting on the dock of the bay with me. Keep the soul alive, keep loving one another, and thank you, Calvin, for letting me tell my story one more time. It's been a real pleasure.
And that wraps up another conversation from Beyond the Grave. Thanks for joining us on the Headstones and Microphones podcast. Remember, legends may die, but their stories never do. Please help spread the word by sharing and following the pod.